Hey there, folks. If you've ever wanted to add some green to your yard but thought, man, I don't have the time or the skills for this, then this video is for you. Today, I'm going to show you 20 super easy outdoor plants that Anyoni can grow whether you're a gardening pro or, let's be honest, someone who forgets to water their houseplants. We're talking low-maintenance, tough-as-nails plants that can handle the heat, the cold, and even a little neglect. No fancy gardening degree required. So grab your coffee, kick back, and let's check out some of the easiest, most beautiful outdoor plants you can add to your space. All right, kicking off our list with a classic geraniums. These bad boys are basically the MVPs of low-maintenance gardening. You plant them, give them some sun, and they'll reward you with non-stop color. Plus, they're tough. A little drought? No problem. Forgot to fertilize? They'll still bloom like champs. And the best part? You can pop them in the ground or a pot, and they'll thrive either way. Just water when the soil feels dry. And boom, you've got a garden that looks like you put in way more effort than you actually did. Trust me, if you want easy, geraniums are a no-brainer. Next up, we've got Petunia seriously. These things are like the ultimate set it and forget it flower. Just plant them in a sunny spot, give them some water, and they'll bloom like crazy all season long. They come in just about every color you can think of, so you can mix and match to make your garden pop. Plus, they're great for hanging baskets, flower beds, or even just a random pot on your porch. And here's the kicker: you pinch off the dead blooms now and then, they'll keep producing even more flowers. Low effort, high reward. That's my kind of plant. All right, let's talk about Sedum, also known as stonecrop. If you're the type who forgets to water, this plant is your new best friend. It thrives on neglect, loves the sun, and doesn't mind dry soil one bit. Plus, it's a succulent, so it stores water in its leaves like a little built-in backup plan. And get this, there are tons of varieties, from low-growing ground covers to tall, showy types that bloom in late summer. The bees and butterflies love them too, so you're not just making your garden look good, you're helping the pollinators while you're at it. Win-win. Now, if you've got a shady spot in your yard that looks a little bare, hostas are the way to go. These guys are practically indestructible, and they come in all kinds of sizes and colors: big, bold greens, blues, even variegated ones with cool patterns. Just plant them, water them now and then, and they'll keep coming back year after year, getting bigger and better. And bonus, they bloom in the summer with these tall, elegant flowers that pollinators love. Just watch out for slugs. Those little guys love hostas as much as we do, but a little mulch or crushed eggshells around the base can help keep them away. All right, let's talk about coral bells. These plants are an absolute game changer if you want easy color in your garden. The leaves come in all kinds of shades: deep purples, bright greens, even silver, so they look great even when they're not blooming. And when they do, tiny little bell-shaped flowers pop up on tall stems, and hummingbirds go nuts for them. They're super low maintenance, handle both sun and shade, and come back year after year without any fuss. Just plant them, water occasionally, and enjoy seriously. It doesn't get much easier than that. Next up, Weigela is one of those shrubs that looks like you spent hours tending to it. But really, it just does its thing with almost no effort. In the spring and early summer, it bursts out with tons of trumpet-shaped flowers in pinks, reds, or whites. And let me tell you, hummingbirds love them. It grows fast, handles heat like a champ, and once it's established, it barely needs watering. Plus, some varieties have cool, dark foliage that looks great even when it's not blooming. Just plant it in a sunny spot, maybe trim it back once a year, and enjoy the show. All right, let's talk about mint, probably one of the easiest and most useful plants you can grow. This stuff is almost impossible to kill, spreads like crazy, and smells amazing every time you brush against it. You can use it for tea, cocktails, or just to freshen up your garden with that cool, refreshing scent. But fair warning, if you plant it in the ground, it'll take over like it owns the place, so keeping it in a pot is usually the best move. Give it some sun, water it now and then, and you'll have fresh mint whenever you need it. No effort required. Next up, we've got Verbena. And if you want a plant that just keeps on blooming, this is the one. It thrives in full sun, doesn't mind dry soil, and puts out clusters of bright flowers from spring all the way to fall. Seriously, you hardly have to do anything, and it just keeps going. It's perfect for hanging baskets, garden beds, or even spilling over the sides of a container for that effortless wildflower look. Plus, butterflies and bees love it, so you'll get a little extra life in your garden. Just trim it back if it starts getting leggy, and it'll bounce right back with even more blooms. All right, let's talk about sweet potato. The Dianthus plant is an absolute beast when it comes to fast growth and bold color. Whether you go for the deep purple, bright green, or even the funky variegated varieties, it adds a ton of visual interest to any space. It's perfect for spilling over pots, hanging baskets, or even as ground cover if you want that lush, trailing look. And the best part? It thrives in both sun and partial shade, and doesn't need much water once it's established. Just plant it, give it a little trim if it gets too wild, and watch it take off. Next up, we've got Coleus. And if you want bold, colorful foliage without a ton of work, this is the plant for you. The leaves come in crazy shades of red, pink, green, and even purple, so it instantly adds a pop of color to any garden. It grows great in both sun and shade, making it super versatile whether you're filling flower beds or brightening up a shady corner. Plus, it's low maintenance, just keep the soil slightly moist, and it'll thrive. If it starts getting too tall or leggy, just pinch off the tops, and it'll grow back even fuller. Easy, colorful, and perfect for beginners. All right, let's talk about Scaevola, also known as the fan flower roan of the easiest, most reliable bloomers out there. This plant loves the heat, thrives in full sun, and doesn't even flinch if you forget to water it now and then. The flowers have this cool fan shape and come in shades of purple, blue, or white, adding a soft, cascading look to hanging baskets or garden beds. Plus, no deadheading needed. It just keeps blooming all season long without any extra work. If you want a plant that can handle summer heat with zero fuss, Scaevola is the way to go. Next up, we've got Daylily, of the toughest, most reliable perennials you can plant. These guys come back year after year, spreading out and giving you even more blooms with almost zero effort. They handle heat, drought, and even poor soil like champs, making them perfect for beginners. The flowers only last a day, hence the name, but don't worry, because new ones keep popping up all season long. Just plant them in a sunny spot, water occasionally, and let them do their thing. If you want a no-fuss plant that keeps on giving, Daylily the way to go. All right, let's talk about Pentas. These little star-shaped flowers are a magnet for butterflies and hummingbirds. They bloom like crazy all summer long, adding bright pops of red, pink, purple, or white to your garden. They love full sun and heat, so they're perfect for hot climates where other plants might struggle. Plus, they're super low maintenance, just water them occasionally, and they'll keep going strong. Whether in garden beds, pots, or borders, Pentas are an easy way to bring color and pollinators to your outdoor space without a ton of effort. Next up, Oakleaf Hydrangea. This shrub is an absolute powerhouse in the garden. In the summer, it puts out big, cone-shaped clusters of white flowers that slowly fade to pink, giving you months of color. The leaves are just as impressive, turning deep red and purple in the fall, so it looks great even when it's not blooming. It handles heat and cold better than regular hydrangeas, making it a solid choice for different climates. Plus, it's low maintenance, just plant it in partial sun, give it some water, and let it do its thing. If you want a plant that looks good year-round with almost no effort, Oakleaf Hydrangea is a winner. All right, let's talk about Dianthus. This plant is a total classic, and for good reason. It blooms in bright pink, red, white, and even bicolor, adding a fresh pop of color to any garden. Plus, it's got a sweet, clove-like scent, so it smells just as good as it looks. It thrives in full sun, needs well-drained soil, and once it's established, it doesn't need much watering. Just trim off the dead flowers now and then to keep it blooming longer. Whether in garden beds, borders, or containers, Dianthus is an easy way to bring vibrant color and a little fragrance to your outdoor space. Next up, Coreopsis, also known as tickseed. But don't let the name fool you. This plant is all about bright, cheerful blooms. It pumps out tons of daisy-like flowers in yellow, orange, pink, or red, and it keeps blooming for months with almost no effort. It loves full sun, thrives in poor soil, and once it's established, it barely needs watering. Plus, butterflies love it, so it's a great way to bring some extra life to your garden. Just trim off the faded flowers to keep it looking fresh. And that's it. If you want a super easy, non-stop bloomer, Coreopsis is a solid choice. Alright, let's talk about butterfly weed. This plant is a must-have if you want to attract butterflies, especially monarchs. It bursts with bright orange flowers in the summer, adding a fiery pop of color to any garden. It loves full sun, thrives in dry, poor soil, and once it's established, you barely have to water it. Plus, it's a native plant, so it's tough, low maintenance, and great for pollinators. Just plant it, give it some space, and let it do its thing. If you want a bold, butterfly-friendly plant that practically takes care of itself, butterfly weed is the way to go. Next up, Salvia, of the easiest, most reliable plants you can grow. It's got these tall spikes of purple, blue, red, or pink flowers that keep blooming for months. And pollinators like bees and hummingbirds absolutely love it. It thrives in full sun, handles heat and drought like a champ, and doesn't need much watering once it's established. Just trim off the faded blooms to keep it looking fresh, and it'll keep coming back year after year. Whether in garden beds or containers, Salvia is a no-fuss way to add color and life to your outdoor space. Alright, let's talk about Ajuga. This plant is a total ground cover superstar. It spreads quickly, filling in bare spots with deep green, bronze, or even purple leaves, depending on the variety. In spring, it shoots up little spikes of blue, purple, or pink flowers that add a nice pop of color. It thrives in part shade, but can handle sun too. And once it's settled, it barely needs any care. Plus, it helps prevent weeds from taking over, which is always a win. If you need an easy, low-maintenance plant that looks good year-round, Ajuga's got you covered literally. Last, but definitely not least, Caladium. This plant is all about the foliage. With its big, heart-shaped leaves in shades of pink, red, white, and green, it brings a tropical vibe to any garden. It loves shade, making it perfect for those darker spots where other plants struggle. Just keep the soil moist, and it'll keep looking fresh all season long. It's also great in pots, so you can move it around wherever you need a splash of color. If you want a bold, eye-catching plant that thrives in the shade, Caladium is a no-brainer. And that's a wrap. 20 easy outdoor plants that anyone can grow, whether you're a beginner or just want a low-maintenance garden. These plants have you covered. Bright colors, tough growers, and pollinator-friendly options. There's something for every space. So grab a few, get planting, and enjoy a beautiful, thriving garden with minimal effort. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your favorite easy care plant. See you in the next one.